So a couple things. So what you don't know about backstage is that this side of the stage has like a 3-foot lift from the floor to the stage, and this stage has a ramp, so all of us old fatties are coming up this way. That's why we're coming this way. We have to walk all the way around. I totally scoped that out before the show started. I was like, coming up the ramp. I don't know about you bitches, but I'll be on the ramp. The other thing, I fucking love this about like lesbian events because the gender discretion on the bathrooms means nothing. I peed in the men's bathroom every time, and it's been amazing. Look at all you fucking badass homos, hell yeah! Actually, not all of you are gay. I know this because my coworkers are here. So that little row of straight people back there, they're mine. I take full responsibility for them. Whatever, I love my straights, okay? I got your back. Like, I'm a straight ally. You just have all the weird penis and vagina sex you want to have. I don't even care. Just don't rub it in my face, okay? Unless it's the vagina. My boss couldn't be here, but he asked me if I was going to tell any work jokes, and I was like, no, but I'm also not going to tell any jokes about dead puppies either, so. But I do want to share a little thing that I just recently learned about myself. I don't have to be a slut to experience the morning after shame. In my sluttier days, I used to go to the bar and bring home random people, and now I just bring home random food. I'm like, yeah, give me the tater tot nachos. Yeah, the fucking tachos, I don't care. Fucking put it in a box, I gotta go, I'm wasted. Come on. And then I'm waking up the next morning, and instead of like a strange girl in my bed, there's like weird food containers. And I'm like sneaking out of my own bed, like, oh shit, what have I done? And I still take the shame shower, but instead of washing off like guilt and mediocre sex, I'm just like washing off special sauce. Get it off, it's in my hair. Yeah, I really let myself go. But let me tell you, after a night of tachos, you like, it's like a bad one-night stand. You're like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. I think I'm just gonna quit smoking and like go back to school or something. I'm gonna feel really bad. So I was kind of desperate for material, so obviously I tapped into my 18-year-old daughter, and she was like, well, I think we should talk about your material. I think you need a new subject. And she talks to me like a fucking therapist. And so obviously I responded like a patient. I'm like, what's wrong with my material? And she's like, well, you just talk about how undateable you are all the time, and it's kind of depressing. And I was like, wait a minute. I talk about how nobody will date me. That's totally different. And she was like, okay. Totally valid point. But let's just brainstorm. She said this. Let's just brainstorm some ideas here. Like, what was the last funny thing that happened to you? And I honestly couldn't remember because I'm getting old, and that's what happens when you get old. If you don't write something down, you forget. That and noticing gray pubes. Like, that's pretty much all getting old is just forgetting shit and gray pubes. So you have that to look forward to. So I started carrying around this little tape recorder just so I could capture thoughts as they came to me. And it was kind of funny, but it was mostly like a tragic to-do list. It was just like for example, I recorded this little nugget. There's a sign on MLK that says, blood poisoning isn't pretty this time of year. This implies that there is a time of year when blood poisoning is pretty. Find out when that time of year is. Get the pretty kind of blood poisoning, and then maybe get a date. But this whole exercise just sent me me into like an existential dilemma. I was just like, I can't talk about fucking my dating fails. Like, who am I in the world? It was really stressful. And so I asked her, my kid, I was like, well, what would you talk about? She said, well, I don't know, but maybe you should talk about work. And I was like, who are you fucking people that you think my job is so hilarious? Like, do you even know what I do? I don't work at a dildo factory where like hijinks ensue. Like, I am a financial controller, which means that I manage massive amounts of other people's money. Money that I will never see in my entire lifetime.
Oh, man.
And this is really depressing. And the highlight of my day is going into my boss's office when he's not there and farting.
Yeah, you do. Yes, you do.
I pretend like I'm going to put a check to sign or something on his desk, but really I just put like my butt on his desk and just fart. And I remember the first day this happened, it was totally a fluke. I just like went in there and I was like, oh, hell yeah, that was awesome. Take that. But I went home and I told my housemate about it because I was like really proud of myself. And she was like, well, you know, if you're at a party and you need to fart, you can stand like this, just like shoulder width apart and arch your back and just try to like spread your butt cheeks as much as you can, and then your fart will be silent. And I was like, how in the fuck is that helpful? Like, if I was at a party with you and you suddenly got up and were like, everything okay over there? And then you would have to tell me that you were trying to spread your butt cheeks without touching them so that your fart would be silent. Which totally defeats the purpose. And have you just like fucking farted, there might be a slight chance that someone else would say to you, did you just fart? And you could just be like, you bet your sweet ass I did. And then that conversation would be over. That moment in time will pass. But by doing that, you gotta know that someone at that party at some point is gonna be with their friends or on stage in front of a bunch of strangers telling that story. And then one day you're gonna run into someone you haven't seen in a while and they're gonna be like, hey dude, I heard this funny thing about you, that you spread your butt cheeks to fart. Is that true? Like, why do you do that? And then you have to relive that party over and over again. And she was like, yeah, I guess I never really thought about that. And I was like, so basically out of all the information I've received today, that was the most useless information I've gotten. And I get it, we can't all be geniuses all the time. Like, for me, I'm the smartest when I'm laying down. Which one could conclude that I should spend more time on my back. But what I've concluded is that I need to have my tape recorder next to me all the time. It's my new favorite thing. But I'm like fumbling through the day, walking, just like running into shit and forgetting the names for things. I'm like, hand me that. You mean the stapler? Yeah, that fucking thing, just fucking hand it to me, come on. But as soon as I lay down, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a genius. And the other night I was laying down, about to go to bed, and I was thinking about how there are over 7 billion people on the planet, and I am dating none of them. And then I remembered this story that I had heard about a group of physicists who took the same mathematical equation that they use to theorize how many planets in our galaxy have life as we know it, to how many potential dates there are in their city. And so I was like, I'm gonna do that. And so I started breaking it down. And the more specific my criteria got, the smaller that number became. And I was like, and I didn't even think that my criteria was that specific. I mean, I did subtract out all the lesbians under 30 because let's fucking face it, lesbians in their 20s are crazy. But I was a lesbian in my 20s, I can say that, so. And when you're in your 30s, you'll be like, I was fucking crazy. But for the most part, it was like the bare minimum. Like, my standards are so low right now. It's like taking out everybody I've already dated, everybody that's in relationships, and everybody that my friends have dated. That's basically all the math I did.
That's everybody.
And I came up with 0 dateable people.
Yeah.
Which was worse than the physicists came. They were able to narrow it down to 5. Which, I was, you know, I guess the point of this story is that it's harder to be a lesbian than it is to be a genius. And I felt, though, like you think that would make me really depressed, but I actually felt like really calm and like I was zen. It was something about like having the cold, hard facts about it all that just made it like really comforting. It's like the hope that keeps me alive, it keeps me awake at night, you know? It's like the pretend of not knowing. Because that night, when I dreamt that, I mean, and I had this epic dream. I mean, it was like a spiritual awakening. It was like the kind of thing that like monks dream about, I'm sure. I mean, I can only assume, but like that level of dream. I was driving through the desert. That part's obvious. Like dry spell, driving through the desert. But I see on the side a hitchhiking Shetland pony. Wait, let me back up. I should also mention that I had just had my vagina surgically sewn up. No, so I'm sewn up, driving through the desert, hitchhiking Shetland pony. So obviously I pick it up, I'm like, come on, get in. And it's sitting in my passenger seat, like, with its little, like, you know, and like driving around, and then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, I just had my vagina sewn, oh fuck, and I start freaking out in the dream. And I look over to the pony, and the pony with its little hooves goes, what? What are you gonna do? They seriously said that to me. What are you gonna do? That's how Shetland ponies talk. So I'm like, you're right. Use it or lose it. And as we're like driving off into the sunset, the street in front of me, the road in front of me starts to turn to shit. Like poop shit. Like the squishy kind where you're like, and then I know I could smell it. And I was like, that's fucking, like, because you can't smell in dreams, that's like a thing. And then I started to wake up and I realized that I had Dutch ovened myself. So,